All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Pot of Gold. I'm Brett. I'm here with Mike Grant, the intern behind the glass, back from vacation, probably going on another vacation soon. A lot to talk about. It's kind of been a weird week. Obviously, I think Mike Leach will need to get some discussion here, starting up pretty quick. But how we feeling,
Oh yeah,
boys?
he deserves a lot of discussion for sure. He's a staple. He's like a Jim Harbaugh. No, I was saying before we logged on, Grant, that it says Booty's back up top. I don't know if that's
Oh,
just
it's
me.
because yeah, it is. It's whoever
Okay.
changes it doesn't like. I'm the only one that sees it now,
Oh, okay. That's
but I just looked
intriguing.
on YouTube and we're good.
Everyone else sees it except for me and Mike.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Everyone else.
But
Got it.
guys, hit us up on Twitter at potofgold@gmail.com. I'm currently multitasking. I'm
That's
tweeting
good.
out
That's
the
good. I'll
link to the
talk a little bit.
YouTube.
I'll talk a
But
little
yeah,
bit.
at Gold Mike. That's all you really need to know.
That's it. No, so it's one of those weeks where we're probably not going to have a shit ton to talk about. Excuse my language.
But
A
still a
lot to
sneaky
talk
amount of
about.
stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we got a lot of portal talk. We've got a lot of Mike Leach talk. We're going to talk a little bit about Bill Snyder's Twitter game. We're going to talk a lot. Like we said, the portal, we had some awards. We got some Heisman situations. Yeah, man. I mean,
A
obviously, it's one of
little
those dead weeks, but little what?
something that I was a little surprised about, but I think obviously needs some credit and we can get into it later. But Makai Wingo, third team All American.
And speaking of Makai Gardner is going pro. We
Mhm.
mistakenly thought that his Instagram comment about "get you a ring" or "get me a ring" fire emoji was a sign. But guess what, guys? We were kind of caught up in the moment there. You can't blame us. And as our loyal listeners know, we get caught up. We get caught up a lot, and
We're a passionate group of guys
most of the time it's right, and then
with a rapist
sometimes
wit.
with a rapist wit. Not all of us, but some of us have a rapist wit. And every now and then we get them wrong. And not that we got anything wrong or right. We're just reporting what we see and what we regurgitate. And that's what this podcast is all about. With that being said, Mike Leach, as of right now, is alive. That's what we can tell you.
As of what time? Yeah, 8:05 Central Time. We
Mhm.
think Bill Snyder's a liar
Yes.
and Mike Leach is at least alive. Look, it's been a really weird situation. You know, you see the tweets start coming across. You're like, it's pretty bad for Mike Leach, and you're like, oh, Mike Leach, the pirate, he'll be fine. I'm not worried about
He's
this.
always
If
sick.
you Yeah, I mean, I heard him coughing up a lung a couple weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, we're fine. We'll get him some medicine, some IVs, and we're good. And then it just progressively like kept going. And it is strange to see, and no shot at 247 or any of the other services,
On
whatever, but
three. Number one right
on
now in my
three,
book.
yeah, whatever. I don't care about any of them. But like it's weird to see like 247 guys like breaking news about like Mike Leach, like possibly like keep your prayers and all this stuff. It's just strange. Like I know someone's got to do it and they have connections, but it's like, are we like outside the hospital, like catching little ticklers,
Well,
getting some
Dellinger,
deets?
Dellinger reported it.
Well,
So
It's still weird that but Delhi, I feel like maybe is on a little bit different level. I'm not saying it's
what?
bad and they shouldn't do it. It's just weird to be seeing like medical stuff coming through from like the guy who was also at the high school state championship yesterday, like checking socks and wristbands.
Well, what was the strangest part about last night? And Grant, thanks for the image. We'll pull that up in just a second when we start hating on Snyder. But I don't know if you pulled that up or Brett did.
I didn't
We'll
do
pull that up in
anything.
a second. But no, I think the craziest part about it last night was that it was an Ole Miss reporter, and I think that's what people were kind of like, "What's this about?" Like,
This is recruiting bullshit.
or you're gonna like jump the gun on the Mississippi State news from like an Ole Miss guy. It'd be like a Bama dude being like, "This is what Saban had to say about Brian Kelly." This is disturbing. There's
It,
disturbing
it,
situations occurring right now. Airlifted.
at least it wasn't the same guy who was like Lane's 1,000% gone.
Right.
At least it wasn't
Well,
that guy.
here's the deal, and we're not trying to make light of an awful situation because apparently, like, I mean, odds are it looks really bad. And if you're looking at whatever is being reported right now, it doesn't look like Mike Leach is going to make it out alive. Like
Yeah.
that's what it seems like right now. And if he does make it out alive, apparently, what I've read from some of these insiders from Mississippi State is that it could be some severe brain damage, lack of oxygen to the brain from a cardiac arrest situation. So regardless, like the pirate is lost as we know him, is what most people are putting out there. To Brett's point, we don't know anything. Like there's a long list of the same tweets over and over again. Like, this looks really bad. Please pray for Mike Leach. And then, like I mentioned earlier, it's pretty wild to also see like the Branch Covidians on the other side of the spectrum celebrating somebody getting sick and potentially dying that happened to vote for Trump. So it's just a wild, like, Twitter's a wild world, man.
Well, it's a scary world when everyone acts like it's college football. My team versus your team. I hate your team. I don't care what your team does. And it's just weird that like fandom and like, I don't know, I guess tribalism is like now, it's not just like us crazy college football fans that like, I wouldn't, it's like, I would be happy if, I don't know. I don't even want to say it, but
if you go down a Nick Saban route here, that you'd be happy if Nick Saban was airlifted to the hospital. How dare you?
No.
You can't, Brett. That is
not on me.
Cross the line, dude. No one would ever wish death on Nick Saban.
But like,
it is cool to see though people coming together. It is cool to see people coming together though. Not Adam James, not Craig James, but other people outside of the former Texas Tech lawsuit people, really coming together and praying for Mike Leach, somebody that like is a Mississippi State head coach. Like, we don't give a damn about Mississippi State. Cowbells suck. Like, screw them, whatever. But at the end of the day, I love college football. We all love college football. Mike Leach is a staple of college football coaching when it comes to, animation and characters and just the way he talks, man. Fat Little Girlfriends is an all-time. I mean, it's an all-time. Him and Jim, man, like, those are two just clowns that know how to coach football, and it's good for our sport. And the Mike Leach tree, like we were just mentioning,
incredible.
Just unbelievable. And he's just steady as they go. Just, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to walk to work. I'm just going to be in my own lane. I respect that he says whatever the hell he wants. He does not fall in line, whether you agree with him or not. It's like, I don't give a shit. Like, this is exactly what happened. No, I'm not going to be all going crazy about COVID. And yes, I voted for Donald Trump. That doesn't mean I'm a racist. Like, he just spits facts, and he doesn't get caught in the bullshit. So I respect him for that.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back through the archives. There's been a lot of Mike Leach love throughout the years on this podcast. Like, I love Leach. I was a little worried with him coming into the SEC, and obviously, Mississippi State's a hard place to do, but snuck up and won some games. But yeah, I mean, I think we're all rooting for Mike Leach here. He's just an entertaining character that'd be sad to miss. With that being said, it was quite humorous to have Bill Snyder kill him on Twitter. It was quite funny to have Bill Snyder just top rope it, open his 2015 iPad, hadn't tweeted in a month, and just fired off I truly saddened by the death of a good friend, Mike Leach. And of course, the comments went berserk. And I can't imagine.
Said by the death of a good friend and special man, Mike Leach will always remain special in my heart and the hearts of many. Not only a unique and talented coach, but one who taught life lessons to so many young men and whose lives have changed for the better. Rest in peace. Followed up 9 minutes later, or whatever it might be. I'm now told that Mike Leach has not passed.
I love how he's like, I'm now being told, like, he's Schefter. Like, actually, guys, there's been a monumental change.
My grandson just ripped my iPad out of my hands. Like, and this is the thing, dude. Everyone is waiting to be the first person to bust this news, because, like, we all feel like it's only a matter of time before someone confirms what we all think is happening right now. And of all people, it's Bill Snyder. That's like, nah, I got it.
A hand up, like, I swear, not even trying to make a joke. I was genuinely like, oh shit, Bill Snyder's still kicking. Like, I was like kind of amped when I saw that tweet, because it's like, dude, Bill Snyder, I feel like kind of just like disappeared a little. K-State's back. Not that I was grinding and watching all the K-State games, but I feel like we didn't get to see like him waving on the sideline. I hadn't thought about Bill Snyder in a while, so it was good to see him alive.
There was not a lot of white Skechers on the sideline this season. Like, you didn't get to really zone in on that. But yeah, a wild turn of events that the person to break the premature passing of Mike Leach was Bill Snyder, Big 12 guy, just one of his old
It's just
buddies.
it's so funny. It's just hilarious, man. Shout out Bill Snyder just wanted a hit of what it was like to be an insider and break some news for once and get all those likes. Oh,
We know that it would never have been Hugh Freeze posting that because he's got his social media rights taken away. He is not allowed to do anything on Twitter, and I'm sure he's itching to post the Mike Leach news.
I'm so sad that came out like an hour after we finished podcasting because there really is nothing funnier than deciding to pay a guy 70 million, whatever it is, give him a nice fat buyout, and then be like, we don't trust you with Twitter.
Yeah.
It's absolutely we trust you with our program. We trust you with, I don't know, 60 staff members, 130 players, everything. But I don't think we're going to let you get on social media. It's like, you got the wrong guy then. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying, I don't know.
But is
I
that
think
the
Hugh Freeze
only
might get it going, but
like, do they think that's the only way you can get a hooker?
yeah,
is on Twitter.
I don't know.
I didn't know that. I didn't know. Like, that's got to be what that's about.
Now that Elon's in charge, I bet.
Oh, yeah, I bet that's the only way you can get hookers now.
It's man, just, I don't know. I randomly think about that. Like, they've literally handed over a Fortune 500 franchise in college football, like an elite program, SEC, blah, 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 and be like, we really don't trust you, though, outside of like calling some plays. It's just hilarious.
Well, I mean, that's
Auburn. Like, Auburn will Auburn.
Yeah, that's what they have to do to like cover themselves. Be like, yeah, we hired him. Like, we were the ones that gave him his chance, but we limited his access to social media. So it's in the contract. So we did our due diligence. Yeah, I mean, Hugh Freeze is starting to make a little noise right now on the recruiting trail. And so is Dion. Dion is going out. Colorado is now a very attractive spot for these kids to go to play for Deion Sanders. We'll see what happens.
How about the head of the Pac-12 saying that he hadn't done anything with the TV deal because he was waiting for Deion? It's like, oh, is that what's going on?
Those guys are clowns. The whole Pac-12, like the whole West Coast, is just like clownery. I enjoyed watching their football this year. I think they actually did put up some good teams.
I agree. The Pac-12 felt a little back.
It was entertaining this season. And then, Caleb Williams wins the Heisman, the USC. A USC Trojan back in the Heisman conversation and wins it. Terrible speech. Sucked. Thought his speech sucked.
I gotta be honest, man. The Heisman doesn't really push the needle for me. Obviously, Joe Burrow, I cried like a baby when he did it and everything, and it was very special. But like in general, it's just like I kind of get tired of like, let's see who the best quarterback is, and like we'll just have a bunch of quarterbacks hanging out. We'll give one with good stats this trophy. I don't know, just it's whatever.
Breaking.
Definitely not.
Jones chooses Mississippi State.
That's Germans, man.
That's I mean,
I thought we talked about this.
Well, I just refreshed the page and his name actually auto-populated on here.
I'm kidding. Good.
Like it officially committed there.
Yeah, Rodarius Jones goes to play for Mike. Well, Rodarius Jones goes to Mississippi State.
I just thought it was a relevant topic as I saw.
No, he is going back home. He is going back home. Rodarius Jones is a Mississippi kid. I wish him well, obviously. Everybody that's left so far, it's like, yeah, you were supposed to go. Like, this is part of the process.
It's exactly how I kind of wanted to transition us into like the LSU talk of it all, is that it feels like it's been a very quiet portal season for LSU, in the fact that like two guys that weren't really on the team entered, a couple guys who have barely sniffed playing time. I mean, Jack Besh is obviously your biggest contributor that's going to leave, and like, I love Jack Besh. Good luck. I want you to have a great career, but it's not like he was fucking lighting the stat lines on fire for us. It's like we're not. And we'll lose people to the draft and everything else, but it's like in the portal we haven't lost like any significant pieces.
No, absolutely. And huge direction coming in here with another comment about Rodarius Jones. Jimmy Smith absolutely was very high on Rodarius Jones, and good
because Corey Raymond.
Yeah, good pull. Huge. I'm glad. Huge has
Yeah.
been following us for a couple seasons, obviously.
Yeah,
But
Jimmy always said that Corey Raymond like loved Jones and said he was like so raw and he was like the next guy.
Yeah, he was a quarterback coming out of Mississippi. We were going to flip him to DB, raw talent. Obviously, it just didn't pan out. I think he'll probably get some playing time at Mississippi State, where he probably should have been from the beginning. So
Yeah,
good
good
for
for
him.
him, man. Like,
But to your
especially
point,
guys like that, yeah, getting playing time, like, good for you, man. You probably weren't catching it here, and you haven't, so good luck.
yeah, and to your point, man, it does look like Jack Besh being the only one that's like, damn, like you're leaving now. But at the same time, Kayshawn's coming back.
I was gonna say you offset that with your potential first-round draft pick
Right.
coming back, like, sign me
There's
up.
no big loss right now, and knock on wood, it looks like everyone has bought into this process of I want to be here to contribute.
Yep.
If I can't contribute and it doesn't look like it's in the cards for me, I'm going to have to look elsewhere, like Cam Wire, Tolles left. I mean, like all these guys that in every other season we consider processed.
Yeah.
They're hitting the transfer portal, so we're going to have to load up.
It makes you feel like the foundation is so good. It's not like this is a one-year thing and it's like, oh, it looked good. Daniels maybe won some games with his legs, but like really linebackers are leaving, safeties are going this way. We can't get a wide receiver. That's not what it is. Like we're trending everything in the right direction. And when you look across the country, I don't know that I've seen much about Georgia, but like I can't come up with a big program that hasn't had like significant guys left. I mean, Bama, we can get
Bama's
into
being
Anthony
gutted right
Anderson.
now.
We can get into Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron Anderson.
But
yeah. Aaron Anderson, the former car cougar.
That seemed like the fakest laugh. Thank you, Grant. Thank you. I love it.
Aaron Anderson, the former car cougar standout, who was committed to LSU for a long time, then flipped to Bama during the season. He's in the transfer portal. Yeah, no. Here's the deal. I am one of those people that it takes a lot for me to get back on my good side when you spurn us from LSU. It is what it is. But last year and everything that was going on,
you get a COVID pass.
It's a little bit of a COVID Edo pass.
Yeah, free transfer.
I get it. But there is still part of me that's like, we're gonna have to like really put a dunce hat or whatever they're called, and just stick him in the corner and just kind of make fun of him for.
Shout out weeks. Mike Leach. Let's put him in a closet.
Put him in a closet, and give him a concussion or something. No, I would love to have Aaron Anderson.
People who like just hopped in are gonna be so pissed. We've like loved Mike Leach for the first 10 minutes of this pod, and then we make a Craig James killed hookers comment. And
did you say
people
dunce
are gonna turn on us?
Yeah. No, Aaron Anderson is a stud.
I don't think he's recorded a stat this year.
He was hurt this season.
Yeah,
he came in. He apparently during fall camp he was slated to like be the return guy. He was like getting all the stats. Alabama was very excited about him. He hurt his knee. He sat out the season. He dressed, but like he had like a knee tweak, and so he didn't get a lot of playing time.
Not the only guy from Bama hitting the road either.
Oh no, a lot of guys hitting the road. A lot of receivers. But at the end of the day, Aaron Anderson was committed to us for a while. He likes Frank Wilson. This is a guy that Frank and Cortez Hankton really like. They got really hot on his trail right before signing day, trying to flip him and Shaz. He welcomed them into the home. They tried to recruit him. So to think that like they're not already behind this right now and going after him would be kind of idiotic to think. I really believe they talked about the Zion kid, the other New Orleans cat that went to Mississippi State, who's a returner. They're holding off on him because they were looking at other options that are potentially about to pop. Louisiana kids that are a little bit better. I think this is who they're referring to. I think this is something that they may have had an inside eye on for a little bit. But in other news, some people think that this is also a Deion Sanders move, that Aaron Anderson is looking at Colorado. So
very well could be. Very well could be. And like you said, I think before we started, like anytime any type of big name is going to come up here in the next couple weeks, like that's going to be floated out there.
Well, the best
maybe deserved.
Yeah, the best one recently today, which is actually pretty funny. The kid that we lost, Duran Reed, out of Alabama, that committed to Auburn. and it was a really big deal. He is now going to take a visit to Colorado. So Auburn's kind of freaking out a little bit. That's kind of funny. It's like he spurns LSU and does this massive flip to Auburn, and now it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, I also want to check out D. So also in the transfer portal news, there's a little bit of a potential situation going on with our defensive back room. You are potentially looking at an insanely loaded defensive backfield if some things fall in line probably this week and next week. We'll have some answers on who is our starting corners and safety going into next season very soon. Denver Harris, obviously everyone knows about Denver Harris. Bad egg, bad kid, just bad.
Just in a bad situation.
That's what we've heard, right? Like everyone, and I know now it's like the excuses come out because he wants to come to LSU. So it's like he wasn't the one smoking the pen.
No.
And he
bad
did have a little bit of pot, but who doesn't?
Bad
right?
influences in the locker room really got to him.
Right. And they're like, well, he wants to room with Harold Perkins. I'm just kind of like, yeah, like, that's great, but I don't know, Bob.
I don't know, Jim.
But it's Tack Miner's son.
Maybe
Jordy,
Walker Howard.
Yeah, put him with Walker. and Walker's going to leave us. No. So we've got Tack Miner on Jordy's show. Tack's Denver Harris's father. Denver Harris, elite 5-star defensive back, originally from Louisiana, another Texas kid that went to A&M, dreamt of playing for LSU, but obviously the money was just too good. So he had to go to A&M. He gets kicked off the team, and I believe he's suspended from the university. So it's like a kind of a big deal. This kid's got some issues, but apparently this week he is meeting.
He happens to run
Kelly.
a 4.3.
He happens to be like an immediate plug and play, like, oh, here we go. We've got our top corner we've been waiting to get since Stingley and Eli Ricks. Like, he's back. We've got our dude. And he was supposed to be here all along. Now, this is not a case of it's an open door policy. Everybody can come and go whenever they please. Like, apparently it's a very big meeting. They already had a meeting last week. They're having another one this week. Where they go over the ground rules of what it's going to take to be part of this roster, yada, yada, yada. All signs are pointing to LSU being the one to beat right now for Denver Harris. And honestly, from a fan, hell yeah, let's go. Bring him on. If we can rehab the kid, have we ever heard of the Honey Badger? Give the kid a second chance.
Make him a SWAT team leader.
Let him make his mistake with Jimbo and A&M. Let him learn from it and then come to LSU and play alongside Harold Perkins, who made the right decision and came to LSU instead of A&M. Now, with that said, you also have this Thursday, Toviano committing. He makes his announcement. Javion Toviano, he's held this recruitment very close to his chest. A guy that everyone believes is a heavy LSU lean, but he's so quiet about his recruitment. No one really knows. He likes Michigan. He likes Bama. He likes LSU. He likes Georgia. Like, the dude can go anywhere. He's a stud. He's one of those guys that several recruiting sites have him as like the first 4-star. The others have him as a 5-star. He's big, physical. He can play safety. He can play corner. And then next week, or this weekend, you've got Desmond Ricks, 5-star corner, visiting and then making his commitment the following week. So we get the last visit on Desmond Ricks. If you could get Denver Harris, Desmond Ricks, and Toviano all to come in, they're all three going to start immediately next season, and they all have multiple seasons ahead of them. That's disgusting. Like, if they're able to lock that up, watch out.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to fire off some DBU tweets again.
Hopefully all three. That'd be pretty wild. I really think we have a shot at all three of those cats.
But it'd be a
Even
huge
two
thing
of those
because
three would be nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, looking around, who's going to play corner?
Yeah, Denver Harris and
just say the name.
Denver Harris and Ricks, and then you're going to have Toviano and Burns, and then Brooks rotating. I mean,
think dude, that's and maybe Sage Ryan grows like 4 inches.
Sage Ryan, yeah.
Sage will be your nickel if Brooks gets tired, but that's it. Yeah, no, I think that's a.
We have those 2 Lafayette kids still on the roster, right?
Yeah, they were true freshmen: Terrace Welsh and Jordan Allen.
Yeah,
who are going to be phenomenal players who are, I mean, those are guys that you want to see. You want to see play a lot more. I know they played some special teams. So, I mean, they were
Seven Banks. We do have Seven Banks coming.
Seven Banks, right? You can't count on Seven Banks to be healthy. That's the only problem.
No, I agree, but he's going to be there.
That's a pleasant surprise if we see some production out of him. Obviously, hope it happens.
Correct. He didn't last at Ohio State due to multiple injuries. He comes into LSU, rehabs all the way till playing time, and breaks his neck. It's like, we love the kid. I love that he wants to be with us. And you're right. He is still coming back. He still has potential to be a player. I just think they need to load up on some transfer portal guys and this recruiting class if they want to be sure he doesn't fuck us with another injury.
Yeah, it's not something you can say like, nope, we're all set. Like, we got this dude.
We got Banks, baby.
Right.
That is a good reminder.
Cake Eater. Hopefully he can start playing. We'll call him Cake Eater, little Mighty Ducks throwback.
That is right. Green
Adam
jerseys.
Banks.
Is Derek? Oh yeah, Derek. I was about to say, is Derek Davis still in the roster? Yeah, he was a running back.
I'm surprised he hasn't bounced yet. I'm sure he's
I definitely thought that might have been a portal name that we saw floated out there.
Yeah, and I'm sure after the game and everything, we'll have more kids.
I'm looking at the roster. We still have Aristotle Abraham II. He'll still be on the roster.
Who could have forgotten?
Absolutely.
Just wanted to make sure.
Roy still has not made an announcement about going pro yet, but we did see BJ Ojulari make it official, and good for BJ. That's kind of a no-brainer. Like, get your money. I hate that term, but like, I don't see him getting paid NIL money to stay and improve what stock. Like, how much more are you going here? And he looks like a guy that's kind of injury prone. I hate saying that, but it's like I could see him more likely doing something stupid than the other guys. Like
best case scenario, you come back and you move up 5 spots. Worst case scenario, you get hurt or put about bad film, or something happens, and all of a sudden you're 3rd, 4th round pick guy, and you're like, well, shit.
Yeah, where like Roy, I feel like the NIL money could offset some of that difference of him rising next year in the draft if he comes out and balls out. That
he's
could
a tweener.
Be why,
if he leaves, it's not something that I'm gonna bang the table and say like terrible decision, like, oh, I can't believe that, like same old LSU. It's like, yeah, if you want to go, he's probably one of those guys who could raise his stock as much as anyone on the team.
I'm gonna say I don't feel like he had his best year this year. There was a lot of hype preseason, and even with Smith going down, I didn't think he.
I agree. I think Smith. I think
he didn't
Smith,
have a bad year.
Playing would have helped him, and Mekhi Wingo obviously stepped up and played really well. But no, I agree. Was I locked in on Roy and dissecting and grading out every play? No, but like it was one of those where like, yeah, he was good and serviceable, but it wasn't like this overpowering D tackle that was always making plays.
I think he did his job,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he wasn't lifting up Steps at Bennett and holding up the number 1. Like that's what I want to see Roy be doing if he comes back next season. But I don't think that's who Roy is. I think he's a very serviceable defensive tackle.
He's like Devin Gotcha, Yeah,
he had a lot of potential coming into this year, and I think a lot of people reached on that potential and put him in some first round draft projections.
Yeah. But he could turn himself into the Michael Brockers, where everyone talks about Wingo and Mason Smith, and it's like, well, this dude's going to play in the league for 12 years.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really good for him to come back on LSU's side. They wouldn't have to go so heavy in the portal. I do think, regardless, we are going to take a couple defensive tackles out of the portal, and we are big on an Arizona defensive tackle and then a Coastal Carolina defensive end. I believe that they're going to bulk up and move inside as well. There's a Western Michigan defensive tackle, big ass white dude. That motherfucker looks awesome. I don't think we have a shot.
Well, I think we offered him.
We did offer him, but so did like Notre Dame and USC, and like apparently he's going to like visit Notre Dame, and he lives in Indiana, I think.
I think Brian Kelly offered him back when he was at Notre Dame, so there could be. Maybe there's some sort of
I definitely would go to the Broncos over the Irish.
Yeah, there could be a connection there where he might have recruited him and didn't think he was good.
I might be thinking of someone different, but for some reason I was like, oh wow, that's interesting.
Now, where there is a connection where we're probably about to get a kid is that tight end from Cincinnati, McCown, I believe his name is. He decommitted from Cincinnati the day we offered, and he went and flew down and took a visit this past weekend. So that
I
kid's
got
all
a
but in.
funny DM that was death taxes and Denbrock going after 3-star Ohio tight ends. That gave me a good chuckle. So shout out to my guy.
Look, man, if you can finish with him, Mac Markway, McCown, and then they're looking at this Pimpton cat who's like 6'6", 240 out of Texas, currently committed to Vanderbilt. Apparently the biggest sleeper of the class is what everyone says. And he's about to jump in the ratings the minute he decommits from Vanderbilt. That's kind of stupid how they do that, because heaven forbid we give Vanderbilt a 4-star tight end. But he visited this past weekend, and he's a freak. Like, so if you can load up on those guys, you might not need a transfer portal tight end to group up with Taylor, who is the only true scholarship tight end left. I know Mashburn received a scholarship, but I mean, that kid's not playing.
Yeah, I mean, he's your third tight end on some goal line type stuff. Like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, Bill Polian hadn't given us a reason not to trust him, so I'm full on riding the trust Polian train.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But I think Denbrock's more involved in this tight end search. He knows tight ends, and I think Brian Kelly, he understands this too. And I know you were joking, but I do want to make sure people don't automatically assume like just because Denbrock's getting a 3-star doesn't mean these kids aren't good. Like that, like go watch this McCown tape. Like he's right now, Ohio State and LSU have offered, like, and they're battling for him. It's not like LSU's the only school that offered this kid.
One of my favorite pods we did, and it was super early on, was the discussion about how LSU was built into what they are on the backs of 3-star guys. And it's like, that's true. So it's like, not every guy LSU gets needs to come in and play right away or be the freak athlete. It's like, it's okay to get in a program and develop in year 2, year 3, be a guy. It's okay.
Well, I mean, dude, just if you just look at like his last game, it's like he had these crazy one-handed catches in the back of the end zone. Apparently, like Ryan Day is like in the background of the camera, like drooling over him, and then all people see is like 3-star, and just like, God damn it, where's Brock Bowers? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
we've got a really good tight end right now on our roster, and we just need to group him up with a couple, 3 or 4 year kids that can rotate in.
And the guy at tight end that came in and was awesome was not the most recruited guy, and like, we didn't.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I barely remember like talking about him in the first. Like, yeah, at some point he'll probably play. He's got a good pedigree, good genes.
Well, and I remember Brian Kelly talking about it. Like, we have to play Mason Taylor out of necessity. Like, we don't have any tight ends. And then he was surprisingly great. You're like, holy shit, this kid actually is going to start over all of them.
And also, there has to be some trust in our strength and conditioning and our development. Also, it's like it's not you get what you get when the dude signs, and that's the guy you're gonna get. It's like Mason Taylor is the example of putting on 20 pounds and faster, stronger, and better. And it's like, get some of these dudes in here, get some of these kids in who are maybe developed a little late and weren't great as sophomores and juniors, so they missed some camp circuits and shit, and now no one cares. It's like, give me some of those guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So tight end is an emphasis right now, but it looks like we're going to be able to secure that on the high school level in this recruiting class, especially if they're able to finish with McCown and Pimpton. And then, there's a lot of feelers out there that this Nicholas Harbor kid, big time 5-star defensive end out of the Maryland area, freak athlete, like somebody that if he just focused on football, he would be insane. Like, kind of reminds me of Clowney, but he's one of the fastest humans in high school. Like, he's a track runner, but he's like that big. So if apparently we're getting the last visit, like we're getting a weekend visit. So he's actually interested in us.
Always a good thing.
Yeah. And so that could be a crazy defensive end for us. So I think recruiting wise right now, there's a lot that's about to unfold within the next couple of weeks. Like, I think this week is going to say a lot with Toviano, the Denver Harris meeting coming up this week with the staff, next week with Desmond Ricks. You could shore up your defensive back room in 2 weekends coming up right now. The tight end crew. And then honestly, it's all about really shoring up that defensive tackle room. A lot of people, like we just mentioned, think Roy is going to go pro. He hasn't announced anything yet, but that leaves you with Wingo, awesome, third team All-American, just strength room warrior, gonna get better. Like you got to think
sophomore.
like this is a dude that's just going to keep getting better. He's determined to be great in the weight room. Like he's going to be good. And then Mason Smith, bearing, he heals properly and has no more injuries. You've got 1 and 2 of excellent defensive tackles, but you got no depth. You got nobody behind those guys to spell. I mean, I know Guillory's coming back, but he's a space eater. You need somebody that's going to make some plays. So I think we're going to load up on some defensive tackles in the portal. Right now, there's just not a ton of good ones yet. And so I think it's still kind of early in the portal too.
You have to be smart too, because there's going to be guys that go through spring practice and then bail.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't want to shoot your load early in week 1 when there's possibly a ton in the pipeline.
You got to last.
That brings us to our sponsor,
Roman Swipes.
No, but and I think that was the point we made earlier about Aaron Anderson, and you don't want to jizz, you don't want to shoot your shot on somebody that's a little lesser of a caliber athlete when you got a kid like Aaron Anderson who's a former LSU commit that, I don't know, maybe Frank and the boys feel like they can pull him back in, and then boom, next thing you know, you've got a kid that's going to be here for a few more years and could be your plug and play return man.
We haven't really got to see Frank work yet. Also,
exactly.
Reminder people.
Let's lock down some 504s.
This guy's the dude for a reason.
The Jalen Lee kid from Florida. He's a D lineman in the portal. I know he's kind of lesser, but
he lost a spot at Florida. I don't think.
Can we somehow sneak the Oregon linebacker into campus?
Yeah, I'd like Flo to come. I heard he's like a USC guy, but it would be nice. It'd be nice. USC is
crazy though. Like Oregon, I feel like Oregon was like as good. Like I don't know. Oregon
doesn't
was
make sense.
5 cool program this year. I feel like, and it's like, oh, they got it going. It's just that
there's a lot of dudes that are like bailing from programs. It's like, wait, you were a starter there. You guys were competitive. Like you were like a game away from the playoffs, and like you're rolling.
And to circle back, it's like LSU's in that same position, I guess. I mean, we could say 1-2 games away from the playoff, and
we're holding
guys who had no stats and like couldn't find the field are the ones leaving for opportunities to play, not guys who are playing and leaving for opportunities to play.
What I really don't like to see happening is that Thompson kid from Florida State, the quarterback, he's coming back. And then they just got the fucking stud tight end from South Carolina. He transferred to Florida State. That's a good crew. That's going to be an interesting opener. It's not going to be another one of those, we're going to beat the fuck out of this team. And
we will. Oh, you forget. Leading up to August, September, we're going to beat the fuck out of them.
We're going to have Grant balancing us out. Remember now, they've got a third-string defensive tackle. His name is
There's no way those defensive tackles are back next year. We need to figure that out. Those dudes were monsters.
Yeah.
Well, and I think our offensive line has probably improved a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know what's nice is that we've been talking for 40 minutes, maybe 10 of them dedicated to the GOAT Mike Leach, but we talked an entire transfer portal and didn't really bring up offensive line once.
Yeah, we don't have to. It's like we've got this solid base of offensive linemen. The only transfer portal discussion about O-line is Cam Wire left, which good. Go find a place where you can play. You're not playing over Emory Jones. You're not playing over Campbell. Like it is what it is. Yeah. Wish you well. Thank you for your service. All these kids, dude. Thank you for your service. I really like seeing Jay Ward declare for the draft.
Gordon has a nice severance package for you on the way out.
Absolutely. The only guy that can help us out vocally, publicly. Apparently there's a lot of people in the underworld working
I'd hope
for us
so.
as well. No, but offensive line looks good. We've got a great recruiting class. I know a lot of people were worried about DJ Chester looking at Auburn at the last minute, but apparently after a nice in-home visit with the coaches, he's locked in. No more visits. He canceled his visits to Florida State and to Auburn, so he's good to go with LSU, which is a big pull. DJ Chester is a dog. Lance Hurd, of course, 5-star tackle out of Neville. We're not worried about losing him.
Doing a great job of getting names too.
Yeah, no, and it's funny, like it's funny how recruiting goes. It's always a what have you done for me lately type of discussion. And like if Hurd is still uncommitted right now, like 5-star offensive lineman out of Neville, we're paying this kid millions just to we're just drooling over him. But like, as we're talking, we're just like, oh, and by the way, we have a 5-star offensive tackle from Neville coming in that any other year before all this would have happened would have been a shoe-in at Alabama. Like with
could have easily had the
Back to
hats on the
back.
table on whatever live stream or ESPN he wanted to. Nope, I'm in.
No, it's awesome. It's good to see. And then Jaylen Brown, the other top wide receiver out of Miami, had a really, really good in-home with the coaches. And he said, we had some questions that we wanted to ask, and coach answered
Are you going to throw the
everything.
ball?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the first thing I thought when I read that sentence.
Jaden.
We had a lot of questions kind of about what next year looks like. It was actually the quote, and coach reassured us and answered a bunch of those questions. And so we're locked in, no more visits. Like, we're good to go. It's like, okay, they're telling these receivers something that's making them very excited and locking them in. And
I'm all in. I'm all in that it's different. I'm just telling you, I feel like I've read many Rivals and 247 articles about how Cam Cameron and Les Miles just sold everyone on the new revamped offense that never changed.
I mean, look,
and I'm not saying our offense is like that. Like,
that's what I was about to say. Like, I think
yeah.
I don't want to make it. I don't want to compare it to Les Miles and Cam Cameron. It is not Joe Brady.
No, it's just hard for me to like sell all in when we're in a recruit's home and being like, no, it's going to be better. Like, it's like, what are we going to tell them? What are we going to tell? That's all. That's all.
Either they're going the route of, hey, one more year with Jaden Daniels, like he's going to keep improving, and this is what happens at practice, and just we needed to tweak a few things this game. I don't know. Or it's, did you watch the Georgia game? Did you see Nussmeier? Like, that's what we're going to be dealing with. So I don't know.
You're going to have broken fingers, buddy. Yeah, I mean, who knows where LSU would be if we just let Billy Gonzalez cook?
You never know, dude. I thought the best thing Billy Gonzalez ever did was take out those Nike footballs with like the little cone with the little arrows on them, and you can really see where we're catching the football. Very interesting. No one else ever did that after that, ever. So it says a lot about Billy Gonzalez. I think, it's just part of that. It's that time of year, man, where you just kind of cling on. I think that's the name of something. Yeah, you just kind of cling on. Yeah, you just cling on to every little piece of information that's dropped. But I'm hoping for some good news this week and next week, and so that we can pretty much lock up that defensive back room. Because if so, man, you're looking at a top 10 team coming in next season. Like, if you can,
Is it time for the yearly like bitch and moan fest about early signing period, or do we save that for a week or two?
I think we need to save everything we can save.
I don't know. I think I was watching Josh Payton. He was kind of going through like the schedule, and I guess
Josh is pissed about December. He hates this month.
Well, and I think I think we all agree on that. I wasn't like locked in. I just kind of caught the clip of it, and I was like, I kind of almost forgot how fucking awesome National Signing Day in February was, and because now it's like all done. You might get one switch. Some dude might go follow Dion to a historical Black university, and it's like that's the excitement. Like, it used to be nonstop. You had no idea where 80% of these guys were going. Flips everywhere, pulling out props, pulling out puppy dogs to go to Georgia. Like, those
live
were the
cameras in the war room, just like, we got that motherfucker.
And then remember when Bama posted the picture of that girl that worked at the strip club in the little houndstooth skirt that was doing all the faxes, and there was just a cam on her ass for 8 hours? Like, I miss those days. It's one of those like you don't realize you're in the good old days until
it definitely was a funner day. But as an LSU, like keeping up with it, I feel way more secure with our recruits by having the early signing, because we got screwed so many other times. And I feel like
we got guys like Craig Lawson and Ego Ferguson at the last second.
I know. And when you still can. I just like getting like Zalance Hurd to like sign the paperwork in December. Like, we can't.
That's nice.
We can't risk waiting around.
Yeah, whatever. If we can't hold on to the kid from Neville till February, then good luck somewhere else. I don't know. I don't care.
I'm saying in the past we would lose to guys. It was just
sure.
Depressed. Obviously, like I want LSU to have the best team and all that, but like as a fan of the sport and like there was just nothing more fun than skipping class all day and watching and following, and there was no Twitter. Like
I went to 2 Bayou Bash. It was Bayou Bash, right? Isn't that what they called it at the River Center? I think.
Oh,
yes.
I went to it like 2 years in a row. Yeah, and it was like sick. Like these old men are in
I
there.
never even considered going to that.
It was nuts. It was nuts.
Yeah,
There was
that would've been
beer,
tight.
food. It was pretty tight. My brother-in-law
It just used to be so much excitement, and now it's just like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, no, it was exciting, but I think now with like the age of just continuous information at your fingertips, I think that's where the excitement shifted of just this.
I turned a sociology test in like 10 minutes because I needed to go watch Ruben Randall.
Ruben, of course, had to commit right in the middle of finals, dude.
I wish I could come up with that old dude's name. That dude was a clown, but literally like sprinted out of there to like try to find a TV in the Union to watch.
The sociology teacher that had that back sway walk.
Yeah, it's like Mr. McGee. He was just like,
he like lurched in. Yeah.
Yes. So should we move to LSU?
Harold Perkins wins Defensive Player of the Year. Good for him, rightfully
Shocker.
So.
Can't believe it. It sucks that we couldn't figure out how to get him on the field a little more. But next year is a Heisman year.
What about
Herbie? Won a Herbie too. He won the Herbie like newcomer award or something.
When did Herbie start doing awards?
I don't know. When everyone started getting a trophy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Trent Dilfer is a coach.
That's what I'm saying.
Trent Dilfer is a coach now.
That's crazy.
You can't lose football games in the NFL and still win. The best quote that's ever been said on TV. Trent Dilfer.
Offensive Player of the Year goes to Josh Williams. Our steady back, our modern day Hester. We love him.
The constant.
It's very constant. Constant 27. Running back room's going to look a little interesting next season. I mean, it's like everybody.
Interesting's a way to put it. Yeah.
But like everybody's back plus 2 dynamic freshmen, and you still are just kind of like, we need a guy.
I mean, dude, it's going to be a question mark leading up until, and I think everyone is comfortable with what Josh Williams brings, but I also think, and love Josh Williams, Jacob Hester, dependable. I think I speak for the majority of the fan base where it's like, we're LSU. We need to probably be better at running back.
Yeah, I'd like a Judkins, Yeah.
Like we should. Cool. Yeah. There was a time where every running back we ever threw out there was just a fucking monster. Like it just didn't matter. We're like Alfred Blue, fuck it, here you go, and he was awesome. And it's just like down the row. And now
Stephen Ridley, boom, like it didn't matter.
Oh yeah, Terrence McGee, boom.
Charles Scott, boom.
Richard Murphy,
Kenny Hilliard,
Jeremy Hill,
Leonard Fournette,
Darius Geis,
Ali Broussard.
LeBrandon Tofield.
Shit.
Chiron
Holiday.
Joseph
Carey is a great one. I love Chiron Carey.
Dominic Davis.
Fucking who's the guy that fucking choked out the A&M kid? Jimbo's cousin. I can't. He was on our staff. He's like the best running back we ever had.
Justin Vincent.
Falk? No, not Justin Vincent. Falk was who I was trying to come up with. I couldn't come up with Falk.
All right, we're good. I'm going. We're good. Let's end it.
All right, now I'm going to give you guys a clue about where they played, and you guess. All right,
Mike, listen.
Westgate.
Westgate. Jared Mitchell. Yeah, good times.
Keisha.
No, but needless to say, I think a dynamic running back. We saw some burst from Goodwin Good runs. He's injured. Can we see?
Well, I think what we all wanted was that what the flashes that we saw of Emory be a more consistent thing in our offense. I think that's fair to say that we wish and think that we should have at LSU.
Yeah, and who's to say that Josh Williams can't keep improving and get another step? Like he'll keep playing. So anyway,
there's no doubt in my mind he's going to get the lion's share of carries next year. Having a Trendon or one of those guys that you can just kind of flip a swing pass out to, and you're like, well, this may go to the house. Like it's nice to have
Holly. Might be Trey Holly. We'll see. The kid from Union Parish. So
hope so. I don't care. Like I said, I never care who it is. Like whatever, whoever puts on the jersey and gets it done, I'm a fan.
And then the MVP of the team goes to Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, it was sunny. He was wearing sunglasses during the
bright.
award ceremony. He's swagged out. He's enjoying himself. A lot of people are wondering. People are asking, is he going pro or not? Should Nussmeier be the guy? People are asking. We're just stating what people are asking.
Yeah, we don't ask these questions. We are facilitators of the questions, and people are asking. I don't know. I think Jaden Daniels is coming back. I feel like we would know something by now if he wasn't.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he could go pro, though.
Also, shout out Jeray Jenkins, someone who didn't get mentioned.
Jeray Jenkins, man. How come he and I'm a victim of it too. I don't understand why I don't praise him enough. I mean, the potential game-winning touchdown against Florida State that was just overshadowed by a disastrous Brian Polian. Yeah. Multiple seasons, the A&M game winner, multiple game winners. I mean, Jeray Jenkins is just that steady guy, always in the end zone. It's just amazing to witness, and he just never really was we never once mentioned on these pods dude, Jeray could come back.
No, I mean, and it's it's the stargazers in us all. I don't remember what Jeray Jenkins is, but when you have Neighbors and Booty and all these other guys, and then Jeray Jenkins maybe comes in and doesn't immediately blow up as our best receiver. It's oh yeah, he's fine, whatever. We got other guys coming in, and it's just easy as a fan to just be yeah, he's good, whatever. But we number one wide receivers in the state and in the country. We got
Right.
He came in on that
war number 10.
He came in that crazy receiver class. I think was that 17 or 18. He's been here forever.
I was thinking about earlier that it is kind of funny that LSU has two of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and we also had the number one wide receiver in the country in that class, in Terrace Marshall.
Terrace Marshall, yeah, dude. I was thinking the exact same thing the other day. Somebody posted something about Terrace Marshall catching a pass between his legs. And I was thinking, how crazy is it that we don't really he was part of that 19 crew, but going into that recruiting season, he was the best dude. He was the dog coming out of there out of high school. Jefferson was the least recruited, and then Mr. Steady, Jamar Chase was obviously a dude, but we had two dudes, and one of them was the guy with Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, that's the class that he came in. He came in with Marshall, Chase, and Chase, and Keenan Jones, the other kid that never panned out.
Berwick.
Yeah,
obviously you had told him if he got his stuff together, he could go places.
You did tell him that on the baseball diamond.
Wow.
It's still one of my favorite things is that this random dude's at a scramble, doing a card game with people. And Grant's see, I told you could go places. I was hey, where's he going? He's here. He's at a charity golf tournament. He didn't go anywhere.
Wait, that was Keenan?
No, that just always, anytime we talk about any
that dude was short.
People, I just think about Grant, giving a pep talk to this dude. And he's I have no desire to be here right now, Grant. None.
If you get your shit together, and then Landon pulled up.
And obviously Terrace Marshall's a dog. He's injuries more than anything, but it's crazy. Literally the number one wide receiver in the country, and it's not the guy who's torn up the NFL and all that. It's the two other guys.
Very true.
But yeah, Jaden Daniels staying at LSU or going pro.
Or find out. We don't know. We'll find out. But he won the MVP, and he's top 5 in Mel Kiper.
Obviously deserved, especially.
Yeah, Jaden was definitely the most valuable player on this team. I think.
Well, but if you would have put Nuss in, we'd probably be in the playoff. If you think about it.
Well, no, we were losing, so those throws don't count. They do not count. Do not watch those highlights.
Sometimes I just forget the incredible nature of people who just decide to make threads on Tiger droppings, and it's just the Nuss and Daniel stuff. It's so hilarious. And then you flip over to the more sports board, and somebody's Louisiana has had two of the biggest comebacks in franchise history with the Pels and LSU this year. I'm I don't think so. They're good. They got better. But this isn't this historic, monumental, one in
We're going to remember this year for the rest.
It was just, it made me laugh. It's prisoner of the moment, man. It's no, we won 9 games, maybe 10, and the Pels are fucking great. I love the Pels, but it just made me laugh.
As we're talking,
as
Derek
USC
Davis,
in the portal.
Derek Davis is in the portal, as we were just talking.
I think we kind of reported first by Pot of Gold on the
There we
pod,
go.
obviously.
There we go.
It seemed like it was coming.
Interesting how these kids are announcing. It's just like one each day, one every other day. It's a little trickle, like a baby faucet during the winter. Yeah, it's interesting.
Or Ronald Reagan economics, however you want to look at it.
Trickle effect.
Trickle down.
I did not trade arms with terrorists.
Oh,
that was Ronald Reagan. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were still reading like a tweet or something about like I did not dance with Brian Kelly. That's what I wanted to ask. What do we think the odds are? Like, we think we're getting another Brian Kelly dance video this recruiting cycle?
Yes, but just as a very like sarcastic, like the player's already signed. Like we're not dancing.
Hurd.
Yeah, it's a Lance Hurd.
I think we got to get a big sloppy on that podium, like in the nicest way possible.
Can we fit?
Big sloppy? Yeah, like quarterback's fine, tight end like that. Who cares?
Just really force Brian to like grab a hip and just.
I mean, dude, imagine Brian grinding with Cardell Thomas. Like how funny would that be? Like, give me that. Like,
he's got his fingers like in the belt loops, just like.
Yeah. Hold on.
It's just spinning.
I'll send it to Lane personally so he can get eyes on it to make fun of it, because that would be an all-timer if you just did the big bellies, everybody just dance with Brian Kelly. Like first maybe you just have all like the O linemen dancing and then you realize Brian Kelly's in the middle on the podium. You just couldn't see him, like
just like a Kelly sandwich.
Yeah, LSU. Like, we got ideas. All right, Cody, hit us up.
It's BK. We can call it the Whopper. Like that's what we would do.
Dude. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, man, the amount of ideas that have just gone wasted. I still think about our Brady Bunch T-shirt that we never did.
He's not going to Oregon, by the way.
I just don't think that dude has any desire to step back. Like, until the NFL leaves him, I just don't see him leaving the NFL.
I know.
But whatever. I mean, look, man, I'm sure he's awesome, and I'm sure if he went to a good spot and was an OC, he would dime it up. But like, I think we can all agree that it was definitely a perfectly timed marriage of offensive mind, but like an NFL team of players.
Big week this week for you.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Fingers
Thursday.
Crossed. Big day. Could have some added members to the Pot of Gold family. So
another Tiger fan in the mix on Thursday is what it seems.
Get a little hoorah going on over here. But yes, so I got nothing else. That was the only life event I had, which is actually your life event. So
yeah.
The carousel. Hold off on the carousel.
What's that?
You're gonna have to
go. I didn't know if you meant like there was a shooting at the carousel bar.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. Hold off on going to the carousel bar, guys.
The coaching carousel.
Since we have Brian Kelly, I have not looked at it at all.
I clicked on the coaches changes board on accident like 3 days ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this.
I did look and jump the gun on the Jim Leonhard news. Originally, he had come out that he was staying, and I thought that was a huge move. I was like, holy shit, Jim Leonhard's staying at Wisconsin with Fickell. That's odd because they run different defenses, but good for them. Good brains together. Turns out he is leaving. So
don't blame him.
We'll see what happens there.
Come on down. You can be an assistant under Matt House or something.
The only one I saw that was interesting was Stanford's new coach that I don't know anything about. Yeah, exactly.
I saw that the rumor was Jason Garrett, which made me laugh.
No, it's
some of these
Troy Taylor, former Cal quarterback.
Wow, interesting. Yeah. Okay, Stanford.
Well, with Trent Dilfer off the board, it got to be slim pickings.
Yeah, Taylor's high flying offense. Taylor's high flying offense led Sacramento State to a 30-8 and 3 straight Big Sky titles in its 3 seasons.
Oh, that's it. That's a winner, Big Sky.
He led the program to 12-0 record in the regular season before losing Friday night in the second round to Incarnate Word.
Incarnate Word.
I think that's where that tight end goes. The big time tight end from Incarnate.
Oh, really?
Incarnate Word.
They're pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Not as good as Southeastern. Line up, baby.
Ready.